Hi, this video record is about surface painting in Inventor in AutoCAD. Okay, let's start. See my demo. Example, there is an object. Well, the material of the object has been selected as the one it can react with atmospheric air and in time may corrode, such as it is an ordinary steel, low carbon steel, not stainless steel. Stainless steel does not react with water molecules, oxygen, so it is not oxidized, it is not rusted, but it is expensive. Well, to be able to decrease the cost of manufacturing, price of the product, so to increase its market share, okay, thanks to its manageable, suitable price, well, it can find a greater share in the market. So, well, always aim to keep the cost, so the price of the product at as much as possible minimum level. Of course, without decreasing the quality. Optimum solution. Well, one of the in the solution, one of the things to do may be this one. Use a cheaper material, strength of stainless steel, strength of low carbon steel, ordinary steel are comparable. But low carbon steel is cheaper material, stainless steel has greater material cost. Well, advantage of stainless steel, such an expensive material, is that say it is not a material, okay, react with atmospheric air. It is not rusted, so that is the advantage. But the disadvantage is it is price. It is expensive. Material cost is greater. Low carbon steel. Advantage of low carbon steel, using low carbon steel as the material, is it is price. It is a cheaper material. Disadvantage, it is not resist to the reactions with atmospheric air or say oxygen, water molecules. Well, in time it will rusted, it will be corroded. There will be corrosion. To be able to prevent corrosion, yes, use cheaper material, low carbon steel, to decrease the cost of manufacturing. But to be able to prevent the rusting, corrosion, yes, why not paint the surfaces? Okay, that is the scenario in this example, in this classwork. Say that in this virtual environment, to inform the reader or to highlight that the surfaces are to be painted for isolating the object from the negative effects of surrounding ambient, such as to prevent corrosion. Okay, say that surface painted and have such a surface effect. In Inventor, answer the question first. Okay, if in the model, on the solid model, the surface of solid model can have such a surface effect, can directly inform the reader, the person, that it is the surface, it is to be painted with the selected dye. Okay. Yes. In Inventor, there are two different tools for having such a surface effect. One of the tool, or say that method, is still applicable, so gonna say classical method. Well, that method is of course recommended if to apply if the surfaces to paint are in number few surfaces, because in that method indicate the surfaces, okay, and then deal with the rest. But if all the surfaces gonna be painted, say that this object is entirely in contact with, going to be in contact with corrosive matter. Surrounding is a corrosive surrounding. So paint all the surfaces. If all the surfaces going to be painted, then there is a facility can magically paint all the surfaces. Well, the other alternative method uses another tool in the structure of the software. The advantage of that tool is that we can change the color density. The classical method, the color density cannot be decreased or increased, cannot have the dye lighter or darker in tone. But using the other one, yes, it is possible. Okay, then start and then see. Well, the classical method, if you're going to paint not all the surfaces, but one surface, two surfaces, or few surfaces, yes, well, it is recommended. Indicate the surface, which surface is going to have such a surface effect. It is going to be dyed, painted in real life. Indicate it with a click and then right click the mouse. In this vicinity of the cursor, those will appear, okay? Well, it is the button, you know, to take a sketch, right, to draw a sketch over the surface, you know this. No, do not click on this. Select from this list Properties option. And then, well, this is in the dialog box, the listing arrow, drop the list. List of what? List of the colors, okay, to their names. For instance, select which color, blue, yellow. With a click select and then say OK. Yes, can have such a surface effect. Or select surface, right click, and then properties option. From the list, select, well, it is a long list, magenta, for instance, and then say OK. Yes, surface is painted as if using that color. OK, so on and so forth. Indicate the surface. Well, if you're going to paint not one surface, only one surface, but two or more surfaces, well, you know this technique. While you're holding the Control key of keyboard, continue to indicate the surfaces. Indicate this surface as well. I indicated 1, 2, 3 surfaces. And then right-click the mouse, Properties, and then select the color option. For instance, this color. And then say OK. Yes. Of course, well, if there are lots of surfaces to paint, okay, well, indicating them one by one will be a time-consuming thing. Especially object is the one. If it is the one, it has lots of surfaces and all the surfaces are to be painted. Then yes, well, to save time and effort in that case, instead of using this technique, right-click on the surface and then Properties and then select the color. It will take relatively greater time. Okay? In that case, if all the surfaces going to be painted, then yes, recommend follow this way. You see along the quick access menu bar, you know this button. It is to invoke the material assignment dialog box. Next to this button, there is a display. Within the display, after assigning the material for the model and via which making it solid model, can see the name of the selected material. From here, I see that this object for this model of the object, say, since the object is to be made of stainless steel, carbon steel, it has been selected. Where? Yes, clicked on this and then from this list. See the name of the assigned material. Next to this monitor, at the right hand side, there is a ball. I'm going to talk about it, its function, in few minutes. And thereafter there is one more display. It is just the display to see the selected surface effect. Drop the list, there is a listing arrow here. Drop the list clicking on this arrow and then see the names of the colors. For instance, as the color option, select this one. As the color option, select this one. Which one? For instance, yes, sky blue, medium. It's a kind of color. Select it, and then, yes, all the surfaces, except the ones already painted, will be dyed with the same color. You see, have a look at, all the surfaces are in that tone. Yes. If you're going to paint not few surfaces, one, two, or say few surfaces, but all of the surfaces, yes, do it. Drop the list of the color options. To be able to have more color, well, instead of selecting Autodesk library, say Inventor library, sorry, well, Inventor library option gives us in number less material, say less color options. For instance, select Aqua option and then see the surface effect. Okay? But if you select here Appearance library, Autodesk Appearance library, then this will be a very wide, long list. Can't find lots of color options. Okay? Well, select the color option from this list, purple, and then yes, except the ones already painted using different colors, well, all the unpainted surfaces will be dyed with the selected color option in that color. Okay. How can remove the color such a paint from surface, such a surface effect? In real life, you know, we use for removing dye from a surface a piece of cloth and special chemical. Okay, dye thinner. Okay, wiping patiently over the surface using such a chemical, well, remove the dye, remove the paint. But in virtual environment, it is like a magic, immediate almost. Well, in Inventor, that is the tool for removing the color, removing the surface effects, paints, dyes. Well, next to this display, there is one more. I'm going to talk about the function of this in few minutes. And while the next one to this at the right hand side, it looks like a ball, color ball, like a pie chart, and on it is tab. On this tab there is a cancellation symbol, cross. Yes, it is the dye removing, surface effect removing tool of Inventor. Clicked on this button and then have this dialog box. This dialog can be moved holding it is from its gripping point. This is the gripping end to a suitable place. If it is clash with the model, then or a certain annotation can hold it and drag. If you're going to remove the paint, only 1-2 surfaces, indicate the surface and then click on OK button. But if you're going to remove the dye from all the surfaces, for saving time, instead of indicating the surfaces one by one and starting the removing process again, Well, you see there is a tool, select all tool. Clicked on this button and then say clicked on OK button. Then all the dyes will be magically removed from surfaces. OK. Classical method. Repeat again. Select the surface, right click, and then select from this properties, and then from the list in the dialog box, clicking on the listing arrow, from the list select the dye option, color option, canary, and then say OK. Yes. How about the other tool? I said that there are two tools or alternative techniques today in Inventor. One technique, right-click properties method. The other technique, we use this facility. Next to this display, well, there is a button. Clicked on this and then bring the dialog box. This part is like a joystick. And here we have to drop list arrow, and it is just surface effect options list. Okay, appearance list. Okay, you can see the listed ones in this list. Clicking on this listing arrow, you can drop the same list. Here, this arrow has such a function, drop such a surface effect list. Clicked on this and then drop the list. Okay. This part, well, you see there is a ring annular, and at the center there is a diamond, and over the diamond there is a square. Okay, can hold this square and dragging the mouse move the square over the diamond. Okay. Well, see, the cursor is like a dye injector in this appearance. Bring the cursor onto the surface and then make a click. After the click, then yes, select from the ring the main color. I selected green, and then you see that surface is ready to be printed, say painted. And then color density. The advantage of using this tool is that can change the color density. Hold this square, left clicking the mouse, and then move that square over the diamond. Yes, while you're moving the square over the diamond, please see the surface, the color which corresponds to the dye. Okay, it is color density you see changing, darker, lighter. Yes, just making such an adjustment can change the color density. The advantage of using this tool while clicking on this button is that we can change the color density. Okay, and then I painted the surface in this color, in this tone. Clicked on OK button if it is the only surface to paint. But if you have some other surfaces, yes, instead of clicking on OK button, clicked on Apply button. Okay, one more demo. I selected the surface with a click, and then the color, main color from the ring, and then bring the cursor onto the diamond, hold this square, and then change the color density, darker, lighter. Okay. It is possible, of course, from this list selecting some other options. For instance, select cork option, and then yes, the surface you see will be just covered with a cork layer. Yes, lots of surface effect option can be found in this list. Select the option and then hold this one and then change the color density. But since it is a surface effect, not dye, not paint, but surface effects, just a coating. I said that the surface as if coated with cork. So while moving this square on the diamond cannot change the color density because it is in the consideration just a cover, a layer. Okay, it is a cork and it has been covered. Well, if you selected a color option for the surface, okay, then yes, indicate the surface, and then you can, if it is color, not such a surface effect but color, you can change the color density. For instance, indicate the surface. Of course, well, here from this list, select not cork, not some other surface effect options, but color option. For instance, from the list, select forest option. It is just a tone of green. And then while holding the square, which is on the diamond, can change the color density. Dark green, light green, etc. And then say clicked on apply and then select the other surface. Yes, the process still in execution. Okay. After indicating the surface, then yes, which color you selected for the surface? This one. Yes, from the ring analyst part, select the color with a click, and then on the diamond, moving the square can make it darker or lighter. Yes, this is the alternative facility. Talking about this one, I want to open a parenthesis and then provide a complementary thing. Well, since the surface of this object is not so big, I'm going to make the demo using another object. It is surface going to be large enough. Yes, surface effect. Over a surface, have a coating. For instance, mosaic. Yes, in civil engineering applications, it is quite common. Well, for instance, room is bathroom or washing room. Okay. Well, to be able to prevent, water droplets from diffusing to deeper points, the wall surfaces are covered with mosaic, kind of ceramic. It is a quite common application. Well, to be able to highlight that the surfaces will be coated with mosaic, yes, in virtual environment have such a surface effect. I want to make such a demonstration, okay, because associatively there are some tricky details. But say that, well, painted the surfaces, this surface, okay, paint the surface of cylinder in which color? Yellowish or no, cyan. Okay, and then change the color density, moving this one. Okay, I selected dark blue, sliding this, and then increase the color density. It is navy, I think. Color option is navy. And then say that paint the surfaces and say OK. Which method you like? Then the classical method indicates surface or surfaces, while indicating more than one surfaces, you should click on Control key as pressed. And then right click the mouse, properties option. But say in the other method, clicked on this button, bring this dialog to the screen, and then select the color option and select the surface, and then moving the square over the diamond can change the color density. Okay, in Inventor environment, yes, these are the surface painting or facilities, or the facilities for having a surface effect, a coating. Okay, now here another example, quickly create. I'm going to create the walls of a room, okay, and then assume that the room is a bathroom, washing room, and so we cover the surfaces with mosaic. Okay, quickly create say the main part of a room. Okay, I selected 2D option, for a right prismatic object, and then create a rectangle. This rectangle in my mind corresponds to the edges of the surfaces of the interior surfaces. Well, the washing room is in this size. The width of the room is say that 3 meters, 3000 millimeter. In Inventor, since I selected say the ISO standards metric unit system, the numbers are in millimeter. This. And in this direction, say that the washing room is in 2 meters, 2000. Okay. And then, well, these are the edges of the inner surfaces of the walls. And then using offset copy technique, I'm going to have the outer one. Okay, the wall thickness, say that is 180 millimeters. Okay, outer walls, inner walls. And then, yes, finish this sketching stage, apply extrusion process. Okay, show this profile bounded by the inner and outer rectangles, and say that the height of the walls in this washing room is 2500, 2.5 meters. Okay. Of course, can have the model of the floor. How? Take a sketch right over the surface, or just share the same sketch. Okay, well, clicked on this listing arrow. In the list, find sketch icon, right click and make it visible. After making visible, then apply extrusion process and indicate not the region bounded by the rectangles, but the outer region. Okay, well, the thickness of the floor, say that is 200. Okay. Yes. And then take the visibility of the sketch from the screen. Okay. It is like a box, but in my consideration, it is the washing room. Where is the door, etc.? Okay, then create the door, left click new sketch over the surface, have the projection of the edge of the floor, apply project geometry process. This is the edge of the highlighted one, is the edge of the floor, surface of the floor. Okay, and then, well, I'm going to use this projected line as a shoulder, and well, I created a rectangle. Okay, trim the further extensions after the surface of the floor. The rest of the rectangle is the further extension, extended part, further extended part. Dimensional constraint, the height of the door opening is 2000, let's say. The width of the door, okay, 1500. Okay. And then over there is a circular window. Assume. Location dimension for the window relative to the floor, it is 1800 millimeters away from the say the edge of the door. The center of the window is 600 millimeters. Okay, window size of the window, let's say 400 millimeters. These are, of course, not the door, not the window, but door opening, window opening. Okay. Finish the sketching stage and apply extrusion process in cutting mode. Okay, show this profile, show that profile. Okay, thickness is minimum the wall thickness. Okay, so write it into the box and then say okay. Yes, assume that this is the entrance door of the washing room. Okay, then surface effects. Say that the inner surfaces are all to be covered using blue mosaic. Okay, then how? If you want, you may use this tool, or from here you can say select. But since I'm going to dye the surfaces, first drop this list, and then to be able to find all the surface effects options, if not yet, select appearance library option. Okay, after selecting appearance library, well, in this long list, one of them I am sure is mosaic option. Letter M, find letter M in the list. Yes, it is written mosaic, blue mosaic, gray mosaic, brown mosaic. Okay, we have different mosaic options. Blue mosaic. But say if you make the selection from here, then all the surfaces will be covered with mosaic. So, well, do not make the selection from here. Yes, for instance, if you selected diamond plate option or diamond red option, then all the surfaces will be covered with such a cover, say surface effect. For all the surfaces you see, we have such a cover. So if you're going to cover not all surfaces, paint not all surfaces, but some of them, then click on this button, or in the classical method, indicate the surface, right click, and then try to find the color or surface effect option, and then click on OK. I'm going to use this one. Okay, from this list, appearance list, well, if you know, select the color option and then the surface, indicate the surface. For instance, indicate this outer surface and then select green from the ring as the color option, and then moving the square over the diamond, you can make it lighter or darker, you know this. Click on apply, but here I'm going to have not a dye, not a color, but a surface effect, mosaic. It will look like mosaic. Okay, so from this list, select mosaic option. Patiently scroll it and then find mosaic option. Yes, mosaic blue. I selected blue mosaic option and then indicate the surface. Yes, this surface, and which surface? That surface, and then the other surface, and then say OK. Well, may not be distinguishable, but if you make zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, you start seeing the mosaic. Okay? Well, one more thing here to see the surface effects. In view ribbon, along the view ribbon, okay, texture option. If it is off, you cannot see the surface effects. Make it on, texture on. Okay? Well, do it again. Texture on is, this option is to be on. Selected one is to be on option, to be able to see the surface effects. Visualization style, shaded or realistic. Okay? If you selected wireframe, of course, you cannot see the surface effects. Select shaded option or shaded with edges option or realistic option, and surface texture is to be on, to be able to see the surface effects. Okay, do it again. Clicked on this, from appearance list, select mosaic option. If you're going to have such a surface effect, of course, well, surface will be covered with mosaic, blue mosaic. Select blue mosaic and indicate the surface and then say apply. And then zoom in, zoom in. Yes, can start seeing the mosaics. Can you see? Well, here, after saying that, that is the way to follow for having a surface effect such as mosaic cover. And then, well, deal with the rest. If the size of the mosaic with respect to the surface of the object is not suitable, for instance, in the market, then you found mosaics, but the size is not as illustrated in this virtual environment on this surface. Then, well, I want to answer in short this question, whether it is possible to change the size of mosaics. Yes, the answer is yes. And then C, the function of this intermediate button between two displays, this and that, can see one more button. Okay, it is like a pie chart. Okay, we have a color ball. Clicked on this, and then, well, in this dialog box, blue mosaic, I selected blue mosaic. And here in the list, while this pane, after having such a surface effect, the selected surface effect option in form of a cube will appear over there. This means it has been selected. The other ones are in form of cubes. The other surface effect options are all in this list. The selected one, and it has been applied for this surface, is blue mosaic. Okay, bring the cursor onto this option and double click the mouse. After double clicking the mouse, yes, well, this dialog box will appear. Okay, make a click on image window, double click. It is to bring this size changing dialog box. Okay, and then scale factor can be changed from here. For instance, not this, but a greater value. For instance, write not 28, but say 50 centimeter. Okay, just a group of, you see from this simulation, we have what? Blue mosaics, but this is in the market. It is in size 28 centimeter by 28 centimeter, is a panel. It is a group of little blue mosaics. Can change the size of this panel. Not 28, for instance, say that it is 50 by 50. Okay. And then you see here, brightness, decrease the brightness, make it darker. Yes, there is a sweep here. You can move the sweep along the slot, and you can make the blue mosaic to its appearance darker tone or lighter tone. Change the brightness. Rotation, the blue mosaics you see column-wise, row-wisely located over the surface. Okay, you can change the rotation angle. For instance, you see, please see the changing. I inclined the columns. Yes, angle can be dynamically changed, but zero angle is, say that, the option which has been selected, zero. So, well, the columns will be vertical, rows horizontal. Okay. And also can have say uncovered region, writing offset value in the X, in the Y direction. If the surface will not be covered entirely, then using offset value writing here, we can have uncovered portion. Okay, and then what else? Close this dialog box. After setting the size of panel in the market, say 50 by 50 centimeter panels, groups of little mosaics, okay, as pre-covered, ready in the market. Okay, I changed the panel size, and then here in the main dialog box, you see, well, we have information option. Yes, it is blue mosaic. Yes, and then generic part can find this image button to change the panel size and also the brightness. Okay, and well, here well, we have some other arrows. Reflectivity can make it little bit opaque or say polished, changing the percentages. Transparency, we can increase the or decrease the refraction constant. Translucency, okay, these are just possible. These are a little bit details, actually, artistic details. And then, well, here, filter color option, bump. And then here, after expanding this list, well, amount, mosaic amount. How many per unit area, how many mosaics you have. Change the amount. Okay, just sweeping this. Increase or decrease. I position it here and then say apply. Yes, the mosaic size will be different. Okay? Yes, the amount of mosaic particles over the panel in the group can be changed sweeping this one. Size of the panel can be changed. How? Just double clicking on this in the sub dialog. Well, changing the sample size can have greater or smaller mosaic panels. Okay, I want to close this dialog box, and you see, well, here the surface of this room, inner surface of the room, we have such a cover, blue mosaics. Yes. Okay, then in Inventor, these are, I think, all understandable. How the surface is painted. To remove surface, what is the procedure? Say remove the dyes from surfaces. Click on this button and then select all if you're going to remove all the dyes. But if you're going to remove a paint from one to few surfaces only, indicate the surface and then clicked on OK button. Then the indicated surface, from the indicated surface, paint will be removed. If you select in this dialog all surfaces option, then, well, after clicking on this button, all the surfaces, from all the surfaces, dye will be removed. Okay, now, and then, after studying on surface painting issue, having a surface effect, say in Inventor, the things for having surface effect, then, well, answer the same questions in AutoCAD environment. Say this is the same example, but it is an AutoCAD file. It has been created. Remember, say one of the previous video records is on model creation part on this example, for this example. Yes, created the model of the object. It is made of, say, low carbon steel. Okay. Select not conceptual but shaded or realistic option. You can see the color. You can see the model in the color of the selected material. I am sure for this object I selected low carbon steel. To be able to prevent corrosion, need to paint the surfaces. In AutoCAD there is such a trick. if the visualization style is shaded with edges or realistic. Although you had a dye paint over the surface, you cannot see the surface effect. To be able to see the surface effects in AutoCAD over the surface of the solid model, the visualization option must be conceptual. Okay, so I selected conceptual. And then, how can paint the surfaces? 3D mode, in 3D mode, along the home ribbon, yes, well, drop the list. I already selected 3D modeling option, so domain is 3D domain, and along the ribbons I have 3D tools. Home ribbon and solid editing panel. Well, here there is a multi-optional tool. Drop the list of the options. Okay, one of them, it is at the end for coloring the surfaces, painting surfaces, color phase option. Start the process with a click, and then system saying that select the phase, indicate the surface with a click. For instance, this surface is to be painted, and then, well, of course, if you have some other surfaces, continue, indicate the other surface, click. In AutoCAD, no need to click on Control key as pressed. Just indicate the surfaces. For instance, these two surfaces are to be painted. How? Which color? After indicating the surfaces, press Enter. Yes, that click will bring the color selection dialog to the screen, and from the list, from the index or true color or color book, which one you like, select the color. For instance, I selected color book option, and then this color chapter, and from here lighter or darker tones. I selected this tone, and then say OK. Yes, now the selected surfaces are in the corresponding color. Either after that stage, double click Enter key, or patiently in this list you see it has been dropped by the software. Select Exit option. Following list, one more time, clicked on Exit option. Yes, this is the thing to do for painting a surface or some surfaces. Okay, at the indication stage, after starting color phase surface coloring process, clicking on this button, indicate the surface, and then press Enter, and from the index or color book, select the color. One more time demonstrate. Clicked on color phase button, start the process, and indicate the surface with a click, and press Enter, and then from the color selection dialog, select the color. For instance, let me paint the surface in yellow, and then say OK, and then exit, or twice press Enter key. OK. What is the procedure to paint all the surfaces? Before answering this question, then, well, opening a parenthesis and then talk about this editing. How can remove a dye from a surface? In Inventor, already answered this question. In AutoCAD, well, answer. Well, there is no color removing option in the list. Select the same option as if you would paint the surface. Color phase process, start the color phase process, but say here, before indicating a surface, as it is implied by the little arrow within the compartment, it is in the vicinity of cursor. You know, since dynamic input button is on, whenever start a process in AutoCAD, start seeing a train, such as simulation in the vicinity of the cursor. It looks like for me train. Here along the train there is only one wagon compartment. Okay. Within the box you see there is a little down directed arrow. It implies that clicking on down direction key can find some options. Well, my purpose is to remove dye. So select from this list remove option. Okay, and then indicate the surface. Okay, with a click. And then shall you remove surface? No. Color from the surface. After indicating the surface, click on down direction key. Okay. Well, sorry, here no need to indicate it. If all the surfaces were painted, then yes, I will do this. Well, here since it is only the selected surface, after saying remove and indicating the surface, press enter. And now say select the color option from the list. Okay. And then indicate the surface again, press enter. And then yes, the color selection dialog box will appear in the screen. Do not select any color. You see the automatically selected option by layer option. Okay. And then without making any color selection, simply click on OK button. And then either patiently click on exit or twice press enter key. Yes, you see managed to remove the paint from the surface. Okay, remove this dye from that surface. It may be one more time repetition. I selected this process option, started the process, and then down direction key, select remove option. Indicate the surface with a click. Press enter. And then, well, select color option from the list. Indicate the surface one more time. Press enter. And then after having this dialog box, simply select OK option with a click. And twice enter. Click on enter key. Okay. How all the surfaces can be painted? Okay. Say that all the surfaces are to be isolated from corrosive effect of surrounding air. Okay, start the process selecting color phase option and then click on if you don't want to indicate surfaces one by one, okay, indicate one of the surfaces with a click, down direction key and select all option. It is to say all the surface for all the surfaces. And then press enter. And then from the dialog box, select the color. For instance, say that this is the color or magenta, select light magenta, and then say OK. And then click on exit, click on exit. Yes. All the surfaces are in the same surface appearance. All the surfaces have been painted. But repeat again, although you dyed all the surfaces, paint all the surfaces, instead of selecting conceptual option, if you select shaded or realistic option, then you cannot see the surface effects. You cannot see the paints. Okay? Only in conceptual appearance visualization style can see the dyes. Okay. How the paint such a dye can be removed from all the surfaces? Well, the process to start is the same. Okay, down click direction arrow. Okay, click on down direction arrow of the keyboard, of the key of your keyboard, and select remove option from the list, and then indicate one of the surfaces. Click on down direction key, select all option. Okay, and then after selecting all option, one more time indicate, press enter, and then select color option. You're going to remove the color painting. Okay, yes, color option, indicate one of the surfaces. Yes, for being safe decide say all surfaces, and then press enter. And then do not select any color in this list from this dialog. In this dialog, just simply say OK. The selected color by layer, this means there is no paint, there is no dye. Say OK, and then exit or double click enter key. Yes, I think it is okay. In AutoCAD, in Inventor, they talk about how can have a surface effect, how can have the surface, all surfaces or the selected surface only in the appearance that these are to be painted with a certain dye. Okay, dear students, reached the end of this classwork, and then say bye bye, finishing this record.